In today's video, we're going to be looking at the SmartChoice battery EA. So this gentleman here has released quite a few EAs, actually many of which have the exact same name, like something SmartChoice related. Most of them, I don't really know exactly why they're popular, but they seemingly make their way up to the MQL5 marketplace high in the rankings fairly frequently. And there is a bit of a community behind these who seem to be quite enticed or quite happy with them. So perhaps there's something here. So looking at the actual sales page, it's really short. So we don't really have a ton of information about how this thing actually works. So really it says that it's designed for those who prefer the original trading flow, focusing on clarity and simplicity rather than constant evolution. So that kind of to me sounds like effectively it's a more simplified version of his other EA, which is pretty good. And essentially here what it's saying is that it's using a lot of the same logic as the prior one, that has a hard stop loss, a few different filters, and some safe modes. So this guy specifically actually developed another one called the SmartChoice EA before, and it was pretty popular and it made its way to the top. But apparently this one is a little bit more a little bit simpler. Now he also made Smart Bird, Smart Limit, so he seems to be pretty prolific. I think the gentleman is from Romania, and most of these bots which I've seen to date are pretty fake looking, and none of them ever have live signals, so I'm also a little bit apprehensive about that. But yeah, let's dive into this one and see perhaps how it actually differs. Because almost all of these bots, from what I've seen, look like either extremely manipulated backtests, and then when you actually run them live, they're usually just some sort of enormous stop loss system. So if we look at the comments here, we can see that some folks are posting wins and losers, and we are seeing some that apparently there's only one loss, but as we know, this means it did not actually hit the stop loss. It means that it was closed manually. So I have a feeling that this guy here, Mr. Cyril, is probably either a buddy of the guy or perhaps they know each other, and he's just posting very positive responses. Maybe not, but it's not super promising, because the fact that we're only seeing losers with the exception of this one which was closed manually, also not a great sign. So yeah, let's actually take, I have a feeling that this one will make its way to the top of the MQL5 marketplace, so it's good to kind of take a look and see how it's trading. Obviously this is totally fake, right? Yes, the results are not that crazy. It's going from, if we go to the back test, 10 grand to around 27 grand within the span of a year, but you don't have a perfect straight line up. This is blatantly so fake. A 3% drawdown with this kind of return, and that 3% drawdown is just here towards the end. This looks so fake, it's not even funny, right? Here as well, we are seeing both shorts and longs, so you can't even justify that it's a long-only strategy on gold. But yeah, this is incredibly fake. He didn't even specify, I think, in the sales page what asset it trades, but from the comments I can see that it's trading gold. And most people who make these kinds of really pretty crappy fake bots usually put them on gold, just because if you look at the consumers of trading robots, the total marketplace, there's a huge bias that people like to trade gold, and particularly amongst a less sophisticated market, people love trading gold. So that's why if you really want to just sell a bot quickly, always make a trade gold. There's a tip and trick out there for anybody who's looking to sell some bots. But at the same time, yeah, this looks very fake. So what I can see is there's no really rhyme or reason as to why this thing is trading. It's just taking a bunch of trades on 1 hour candles. Some of them are going mean reversion style systems. Some of them are more stop and reverse style systems. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. There are some stop and reverses. So what that would indicate to me is that perhaps there's some either massive overfitting or there's a degree of just blatant manipulation. What we can see here is that those are just both two wins too. There's no stop and reverse going on. So yeah, it's very fishy, right? And this was on conservative risk. You can see that there's some stop losses, there's targets, trailing, there is a recovery feature built in, and warning advanced risk. So I have a feeling that in the actual back test, it's just blatantly fake, and there's something embedded in the code, whereas if you run a back test, it goes into history reader mode or something, which is very fake. But if you were to run it live, from the inputs, it seems like it's probably going to use some sort of breakout style system with a trailing stop loss, because there are some trailing stop loss features here, and then most likely there's some element of recovery and or grid given these risk warning parameters we're seeing. So it's one of the classic kind of MQL5 strategies where the live versus the back-tested signal, the live versus the back-tested trades are totally different. People do this because it's just easier to sell if you do that, because it's easier to sell to a less sophisticated market because people will see a perfect straight line up, and like enough people who don't know what they're doing will buy. But almost any serious customer would be dissuaded by that, right? Because like if you use trading robots seriously for any meaningful amount of time, you know there's no such thing as a straight line up. Yeah, okay, it looks like it's just kind of randomly taking trades. And they seem to mostly be entering market, so there's no pending order. I'm looking for order modified, so it's mostly using a trailing stop loss to take profit, I believe. Yeah, so like we're not seeing anything in the back test. From what I can gather from the inputs, don't buy this bot because we have no idea how it works. This guy always pumps out bots like this, never with any signals. At the same time, clearly you're not going to have a straight line equity curve performance upward, and I venture that when you actually run this thing live, it will trigger a mode where it goes more into like a grid recovery style. So once again, not a great bot. I have a feeling it probably will go high up on the MQL5 marketplace, and we should probably see it there in the next couple of weeks, but it's not very good, so I would definitely avoid this one. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.